So in this video we will be talking about geomorphology, subtopic fundamental concept of geomorphology. So this fundamental concept of geomorphology are statements of Thornberry. So the first law or fundamental concept we'll be seeing is, as stated above, the same physical processes and law that operates today operated throughout the geological history, although not necessary always in same intensity. So if this is a statement given by UPSC in geography optional and they are asking you to explain in brief or explain in detail, the structure of answer has to be pretty much what I have shown you here. First, introduction, you have to talk about Hutton. Hutton and his concept of uniformitarianism, that is present is key to the past. This is what he has talked about in uniformitarianism principle. So this will be an apt example or an introduction for this statement, and afterwards we have to substantiate via the examples how this law is valid. So here the first example being the Pleistocene Ice Age. So in this Pleistocene Ice Age, it is called Ice Age because the most of the earth surface or entirely 90% of the earth surface was covered with glaciers. But now if you see, the glaciers are confined only to northern pole, southern pole, and some higher mountains regions. So this pretty much proves the concept that the same process are operating but not with the same intensity, right? Second example you could say about the Cretaceous period volcanic activity. Simple. Volcanic activity was extreme in the Cretaceous period, and now if you see, volcanic activities are happening but not as much as the intensity which the Cretaceous period volcanoes used to erupt. And an Indian example by drawing maps you could give is, so if we see here, the volcanic activity during the Cretaceous period, it was confined in these parts of the India. But now in the present day, if we see, volcanic activities are just the evidences of volcanic activity in the past is seen here, but the only active volcano if you see in India nearby is the barren island. Coming to the next topic, sorry, the next example, the Bangar and Kadar deposition. First, we have to know what is Bangar and Kadar deposition. So, if we see this diagram, we could understand the Khadar and Bangar deposition. So, this is the river, and this is the Khadar deposition, and this is the Bangar deposition, the particles deposited. So, usually in the confluence of two rivers, the hub used to be formed. So here is an example of live example of where the hopes will form between the confluence of two rivers. See, since Sagar Doab, Jej Doab, Rechna Doab, Bari Doab, Bis Doab, Delhi Doab, the Doab region. Nothing but Jamuna river and Ganges river here, they are confluencing. So therefore a Doab is formed here. So now take into mind the previous picture that we saw, how the Doab used to be formed. So there used to be Khadar deposition and there used to be Bangar deposition around it. So now we are going to prove that the intensities are different. Simple. If you see in the past, this Khadar and Bangar depositions was not there, which means the intensity of the river and the volume of the river water that was flowing was so huge that up to this Kangar and the Bangar deposition place, there used to be huge loads of river because the intensity and the speed was high and therefore the deposition was low. But now in the present, this image if you see that the whole region, this all are covered by Khandar and Bagar but depositions. That means the intensity and volume of the river has been decreased. As the intensity speed of the river gets decreased, what happens? The deposition rates tends to be high and therefore the Khadar and Bagar deposition has taken place. So I hope that this video helped you a lot in understanding one fundamental concept of geomorphology. We will see further concept in the future. Thank you.